What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Jack of All Trades, a weekly podcast for you to digest where there will always be a special guest. I'm not going to hold you on this Love After Lockup review, so let's go ahead and get right into it.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, what's going on?
Girl. Right. Pregnancies, all type of shit. Like, what?
Yes, pregnancy is definitely what's going on this season. Ooh, child.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, something is in the life after lockup water.
I ain't drinking it.
No, not at all, child. But we are back for another Life After Lockup recap, season 4, episode 47, Roses and Thorns.
Who you want to start with? They all a bunch of thorns in my ass.
Right. I know I've got a couple that I want to talk more about. Yeah, how about Sean and Sarah?
Yeah, let's get them out the way. I'm sick of them. I don't even got no notes on them. What they storyline? Oh, yes, I do a little bit. They just little.
Right. Like in comparison to some other couples.
Everybody else, right?
Not much to say. So Sarah goes to see her mother and her stepfather, who I don't know what type of property they're living on, man, but it's looking a little petrified.
Terrible. I hated it. And you out here pushing these kids, like, take them home where it looks safe.
Sarah put them on the swings, and I wouldn't have used any of the playground equipment on that property myself, but...
At all.
But anywho, so she goes to talk to her mom, and she lets her mom know that she confessed to Sean about the visits between Anthony and Abby, and, you know... She believes that Sean feels a type of way, even towards her mom, because he asked what's going on. And, you know, mom didn't divulge anything and it wasn't her responsibility to do so. And I agree with her.
Agree. But it's like, okay, you know how like people always be like, when you dating a guy, his sister, like, they're not your sisters. They'll tell, like, all the girls he's dating the same things and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I know that's a fucked up analogy, but I'm just saying, like, that's still her family. Like, their loyalty is to her.
Exactly. Right. It's fucked up, but it's the truth.
What did you think, Sean? Because your kids and Kelly and all of them, like, you kept secrets too. Like, this is what I don't understand.
Right.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Fuck them.
Okay.
Right. So, right. All of a sudden, he's like, oh, I feel like everybody's lying to me. And it's like, so basically, you can dish it out.
Sean, you've been lying to everybody.
Right.
You've done that. This is the third girl we watched you do this to. So.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Right.
Okay.
You can dish it out, but you can't take it, I see.
Right. Now your feelings hurt. Baby boy, good night.
Right. So Sarah feels bad, though. She's in tears about it. She says she loves him and she wants to fix things. And I'm like, all right, you know, that's her bread and butter. That's what I think is going on more than anything.
Yeah.
She's starting to...
I agree.
Right? She's realizing, hey, Anthony might not be the greatest person, but I still believe that if he had his shit together a little bit more, she might entertain him, but... She has gone kind of far down the road with Sean. She's actually married him.
Yes.
They've
got a house,
right?
Nice house.
She
don't work.
Right. Got a baby and can stay home and take care of the baby. So that's a lot to walk away from just because you want to revisit something that you didn't get full closure on back when you were young and on that stuff.
Yeah.
So
leave well enough alone.
Right. So her mom tells her, you know, go home and talk it out. You can leave Abby here so you can have the conversation. So she heads home, and Sean, you know, he's in his confessionals. He's letting us know, you know, he'll leave if this is some ploy for Sarah to walk away from him and be with Anthony. Like if Abby is his way in, and kind of like a catalyst to Sarah leaving him, he'll walk away right now. And I'm just like, I find that funny that you so ready to walk out the door again, as if you weren't telling Sarah 5011 lies and she had to decide to stay with you.
First of all, let's not act like all you're gonna do is get the fuck on your little app on your phone and find you another inmate. How about that?
Right.
So, I mean, guys always have options. Even somebody is, who makes my ass itch more than Sean, as much as Sean, but
right.
He got options too. So I think that's why he was so quick to say, because he can leave. If you think about it, he can go back to California with his kids, where he probably really wants to be anyway. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Because if you so quick to say it, that's probably how you really feel. We see that with Marcelino and Brittany.
Girl. Those that shall not be named. But
just saying.
Right, everybody needs to be back in Vegas. It sounds like y'all out here doing too much in these other states. Take your ass back to Nevada. But
exactly.
But Sarah goes home. They have a tearful conversation, and she promises that she's going to be upfront and that this is not, some effort for her to leave, and everybody's crying it out. And I'm just like, okay, we get it. And Sean says he still feels like she's keeping something from him. And I, hate to agree with Sean, but I don't disagree right now. I'm just still not sure what Sarah really got going on.
Yeah, and whatever it is, can we get to it? Because I'm tired of her. Like, I'm tired of both of them. So whatever it is Mama got going on, can we just address it so we can get it and them out the way?
Right.
I think I'm ready for some new couples. Like, I think I'm getting to that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're kind of phasing out. And again, it's not that this type of drama doesn't work or, it's not entertaining, but I'm sorry. Like, I thought we was going
season
down
after season.
Right? Like, down a different road. Like, you lying to him, he's lying to you. At a certain point, we get it. It's a lot of lies being told, but y'all aren't leaving each other. So what's next? So, anywho, not to belabor them any longer, where shall we go next? I don't have a lot of notes for Aris and Cam.
Girl, we can get to them. I heard it echo outside when I said, girl.
I don't hear you.
I know my neighbors. No, it was outside. Like, I know my neighbors are like, what's going on in there? I got the windows open. It was a nice day in Chicago for once.
Must be nice, girl, because we definitely don't have that weather quite yet.
Oh, no. It's a nice day in the suburbs of Chicago. That city is probably a fool.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Aris.
But yeah, Cameron and Aris.
Yes.
OG Cam.
OG Cam out here.
Prego as fuck. Prego.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. When they opened up and they were driving, I have to say, they both looked really nice. I was like, where y'all going?
Yeah.
He got a fresh cut. Her lace was done. I was like, look at y'all.
Oh, Cam is going to pull a look every time. And Aris, these wigs. Aris is the typical Florida girl to me.
Yes.
Have a whole bunch of hair and will slap a wig on. Like, all this pretty hair you got up. Okay, 10-4, understood. I get that heat, but dang.
Yep. That is so true. Like, the wigs are never indicative of their lack of hair. It's just...
Oh, honey, the Florida girls, their vitamin D is doing their skin and hair wonders, okay? They got long, pretty hair under those wigs. Know that.
So, but they're looking good, and it's like, where are they going? Kim says things are going great. He's finally working his customer service job that, we found out through the streets he's had for a while now. Things are progressing.
Yeah, he was posting on Instagram.
Yes, right? Like, okay, yep, check. We know about that part. They have a new house. Everything's going great. And then they pull up to an ultrasound center, and it's like, Aris is 16 weeks pregnant. Like, what the fuck?
Like, how did we get... Y'all just got married 2 episodes ago.
Right. She said that she stopped taking her birth control, and before they knew it, she was pregnant. But yeah, 16 weeks. Like, come on now. That's 4 months, girl. You literally, like, I can't help but think that she got pregnant as she was going to drop him off at the halfway house the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, now she has to deal with that because you snuck and got married. Now you got to break the news about a baby to your father, as well as your other family members that you did this to, but mainly your father.
Girl. So yeah, they're at the ultrasound center. They find out that they're having a girl, even though they wanted a boy. I hate anything gender reveal related now because I just don't like when people act like, oh, I'm happy for whatever, but I really know what I want. It's like, you don't have to tell people that.
That's me.
But I digress. Right? It's just like,
right, yeah. I get it.
Just do it at the house. But yes. So now you're married and pregnant, and the in-laws are coming in town. Cam's sisters are coming, and Aris's dad is finally coming. And now they have to tell him everything. And Aris's point of view is that they have to kind of make amends or fix something. And
girl, Cameron, and he gets all right together. And you know what? I'm with you when you ride. Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, I agree that. So what I don't like about him is that he always feels like he doesn't owe anyone an explanation. I'm not saying that you do. You know, you don't owe everybody some sort of download on what you got going on or who you plan to be. But I think that you've done so much already without being fully integrated into her family. If nothing else, I would just make sure that I kind of follow her lead, you know, with her dad. I'm also still not sold on her having this great relationship with her father because we already know he spent some time behind bars. So I feel like she's wanting to make up for lost time. And her dad has a point of view about her being with somebody who was also locked up because that's a life that he lived as well. But I don't think ultimately that he needs to go, you know, to her father with his tail between his legs because he has done everything, you know, that you would hope.
Everything.
The timing of things is questionable, but you know.
Well, it's the same time frame as the rest of these people. They move fast.
Yes.
And let's be clear, it's the women. When it's the man that's the inmate, it's the women who be on their ass when they get out. Like, hey, let's get married right now. Hey, you said you was gonna marry me, so we got to do it next week. Like,
right.
But this time it was Cam. Cam did rush it, but Aris, you agreed to it. You agreed to come up off your birth control. Like, you felt the way about having to rush and get married. It didn't behoove you to say, you know what, maybe I should stay on it a little bit longer.
Right, until you meet my father.
And you're not questioning no money now. You know what I'm saying? Now you in a new house, you know, stuff like that. And he's been helping and pitching in, and you think all this coming from the customer service job? Oh, okay.
Right.
But don't front your move for these cameras. It is what it is.
Right. So, you know, I can get a little bit of both sides, but like I said, I don't like that he's always like, well, I don't know this person anything and I don't know that person anything.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Like, you don't have to answer to nobody in life. But That's how he was raised too, if you think about it. But I see, I don't know. It's like I see both sides. He kind of right. He did his part. She the one that lied. He didn't lie about nothing.
Right. I mean, lying by omission, however she wants to classify it. Like, you were not straight up with your father. You allowed him to find out about your marriage through Facebook, and now you're still waiting, you know, to tell him about your pregnancy. Like, honestly, he should have probably been the first person to know. So that's going to be interesting.
But I do feel like this, that even when Cam and Aris disagree, it's still they still communicate in a healthy way, even when they argue. Unlike, I guess, in comparison to other couples on this show, like, they don't get disrespectful, they don't yell. Yeah. I mean, he had his little drunk episode, but it's like when they're just, you know, it's still healthy, and I like that.
Yeah. They always do a good job of even letting one another know, like, all right, you're approaching that line. Like, don't talk to me like that, or I'm not liking the way this conversation is going. You know, just that that level of clarity in how they are receiving the conversation, they still are top notch with that for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I can dig it.
Yeah. So Cam is like, oh, why are females so sensitive about their dads? And I'm like,
you about to see. You about to find out why you having a girl. And you know what? I thought about, like, if my daddy would hear a dude say that, like, because everybody know I don't play about my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
He would be like, this the kind of clown you want to be with?
Right.
He's a clown. Like, my daddy will look at him like, really? This your man?
This is your man.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. Like, I don't care, honestly, that her father has been behind bars. But again, it still gives him that much more perspective to be like, this is the type of man you want to be with. Like, I knew 12 niggas just like this one in behind bars. And he might be doing well now, but I don't know. We'll see. And I also thought about, like, Cam, how are you going to feel when your daughter brings home a former inmate in 2060?
So we going to keep the cycle going.
Right. So you'll find out soon enough what's up. But after that,
but guess who not going for that shit? Lena.
Okay. Because after their trip to the ultrasound center, they got to go back home and tell Lena what's up. And she comes in with a beautiful set of Bantu knots. Okay. Every knot in place. I know when she take that shit down, the curls are just popping.
Girl, I know, but I would rather them be popping on television, not the process.
I know that's not a go out style for you.
Oh no, not at the house.
I'm not surprised. But
somebody showed up at work like that, and I was just like, damn, like, I get it, but these white people don't get what's about to happen. Can you go take your hat down, please?
Girl, fuck them whites.
I know. I think that's what she was saying. I was just like, okay, girl. So I just made sure I gassed up a little bit more when she took her hair down.
But I also think Lena's like 9 or 10. So the longer you can get out of the protective version and the down hairstyle, the better. But they were done really well. All of them were perfectly parted. But she comes in, and so they take her out to the patio, and they give her a gift, which is a framed image of one of the ultrasound slides, and tell her that this is her baby sister, Charlie. They've already given her a name. And
love it.
Right, it was cute. And Lena she's like, all right, she received it well. She's excited, but she also was very mature and says she feels pressure with all of these changes. And what I didn't like was Cam talking about spell pressure. And I'm like, sir, this little girl is telling you how she feels. Like, don't invalidate it. Don't trivialize it. Don't try to play with it because she didn't just say, oh yeah, I'm so happy. Like, let her feel how she feels.
Girl, because she also felt like she hoped the baby does not have Cam's personality because he eats all the food and drinks all the soda. Okay?
Right. And
I said, and all of her feelings are valid.
Exactly.
All of them from A to Z.
Okay. Like, she said,
from the mouths of babes.
I don't want this baby to be no clown like this nigga. Okay?
Period.
But Cam excuses himself, thank goodness, so that Aris can have, a more personal conversation with Lena. And, she asks her, all right, tell me how you're really feeling. And she's like, it's fine, but she just doesn't want to feel like, of course, she's going to be put on the back burner or that she'll have to deal with any level of favoritism. And of course, Aris says, she's going to love them equally and she will not favoritize Cam's child.
Girl, that's what she said.
Yeah. Favoritize. Wasn't sure if that was a word, but
I'm definitely sure it's not.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, a really nice moment. Overall, Lena received the information well, and Cam, before he left, was like, oh, spell sister. And she spelled it, but she's like, I'm the big sister, though, okay? Don't get it twisted.
Big Lena. Stop fucking playing well, okay?
Right?
I feel like that's what she wanted to say. Yo, auntie, I got you. TT got you. I can say it.
Right. So yeah, overall, good for them. Moving very quickly, child, because, I mean, I have to imagine she's, 7-8 months down the line now?
Yeah, I saw it. Instagram yesterday. They were at like a concert and Juvenile came on, and she's like, she's still dressing. Look, I can't say nothing about how you dress when you're pregnant, because she's probably just dressing comfortably at this point, because she is, that bump is bumping.
Okay.
But yeah, she was like bent over, twerking and stuff like that. Something about when you pregnant, but you still like want to dance when Juvenile come on or something like that. So that belly was bellying.
Okay. Yeah. Right. I imagine she'll be due in no time. So you know what?
I can imagine she gonna have birth on the next season. We're not done seeing them yet.
Right. More storyline. Probably the biggest bonus you can get is to get pregnant. I put a poll on Twitter, like, what do you think gets the biggest bonus? Is it an engagement, a pregnancy, a relapse, or spending big money on an inmate? And pregnancy is definitely in the lead.
Oh yeah. It's like you gotta do that to get renewed for a second season.
Right. So, I mean, it's funny because it's even like that on like sitcoms. Remember growing up, the show would always bring in some baby or a young kid if it felt like it was getting stale and it was time to figure out how valid, a new season would be. So then all of a sudden somebody would have a baby. Full House, they had twins.
Right. Girl.
So good for them. Let's see who's next.
Girl, because this way it started a little way.
And I have lots of strong thoughts about the rest of these couples.
So we can do Lindsey and Blaine. We don't have to save Monique and Derek for last, baby.
No, we do not. I don't want
Actually, I have the shortest amount of notes on Monique and Derek.
Yeah, let's.
But we can get Lindsey. Okay, yeah, we can get Lindsey and Blaine out the way just for the sake of getting them the fuck out the way. But up to you.
Yeah. Okay, so Lindsey and Blaine. So Lindsey is now working a job with somewhat regular hours. It's a night shift, but she's clocking in and out. It sounds like she's a counselor at a rehab center, which is good for her. We'll get to it because I feel like a lot of people are talking about sobriety that's not really there. But Lindsey, I'll give her two things. I really do think that she just doesn't have time for the drugs, and she's finding other ways to make her money and, to continue to be relevant. And also, Lindsey is the last standing woman this season to not have a pregnancy scare, to not pretend she was pregnant and not have a baby. She is the only woman left, which is kind of crazy.
Well, she can't handle the daughter she has. She don't need to get pregnant, number one. Let's go there.
Right.
Because Miley cut a rug on this episode.
Yes. So Lindsey and Blaine are leaving the previous house that they were renting and moving into another house while they're still working on the trailer that they bought. And so she gets home from her shift, and Blaine, he's not up yet, and she's giving him shit for not cleaning up. It's just always nagging him. And she says that she needs...
No, Lindsey, I'm with you when you right. Because if you on house arrest, why is this shit? But I kind of have to look at it. They did just move, so it's not like he can unpack everything, the whole house. But what I'm seeing, y'all could have threw half that shit away. Girl. But anyway.
Right?
Yeah, but you're not going to be in his sleep. But he was charging his house arrest thing. But I don't know. Get this house together.
And, I just immediately thought back to when they were working on the trailer, I believe. And Lindsey came in like, it was Blaine and Jacob. Like, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Like, she just hits the door and don't even ask like, hey, how you feeling? Don't give a kiss or a hug. It's immediately like, what have you been doing and why ain't the shit done? It's just like, okay. Like,
girl, I guess that's how my mama was when we was growing up. So I'm used to it because I don't understand what the problem is. What are y'all doing? I need this done. But this lease is finna be up and we not about to have nowhere to live. So I need y'all to get some fire under your butts and get this shit finished. This probably could have been avoided.
Probably.
Yeah. So that's probably why she come home every day on business. I'm proactive, not reactive. So My mom ain't have to come home doing all. She did that shit enough times. I was like, let's just do it. So when she come home, we ain't gotta hear that shit.
Yeah,
they need to do that with Lindsey.
Right? If you don't want to hear her noise, you got to get on board. But so when she gets home, she says she has to go and get Miley because she's been giving grandma shit. She's 13. She's starting to, get her little attitude. And then when she goes to pick Miley up, she's telling her how tired she is. And Miley lets us know that she's ready to move in with her and Blaine. So again, all this moving around and shit, it's not really allowing for Miley to come and stay with her. And that part, I was like, I just hate that for her. It's just like, your mom has been out of prison, went back, got back out. She's been on this show, the past few years. And it just feels like she is never truly the priority. Even if Lindsey says it, it just still feels like, oh, me and Blaine still need to take care of things with the house before, we can make the move official. And it's just like, when is this girl really going to be the priority? So,
I agree, because this is what? Another one. 3 boyfriends later.
Yeah.
Miley has had to see, and, did Deontay ever even meet her? I don't think did he ever meet her?
I don't think so. No.
But Scott did, right?
Scott did. He made a room for her in the attic.
Mm-mm. Well, it wasn't a garage.
I mean,
like Chance.
Girl.
Chance would have did it. A child. But I don't know. Like, I agree though. She's not really never the priority. Lindsey is just, I think she wants to be a part-time mom.
Yeah. For sure. So, and I feel like that is the overarching theme that we will circle back to in summary. So, okay, they pull up to this house and Miley immediately freaks out because there's a lack of Wi-Fi. They go into the house. She says it smells like death and mold.
She is such a big girl now. She's like not the little kid we saw,
right. Right. It's just crazy. These kids just sprout right on up. It's really weird because it almost feels like she's not the same little girl we saw. I'm like,
she's not. You can tell she's not.
It's
you
like
got her in the country with no Wi-Fi. We finna see the type of teenager she is.
Yeah. It feels like it's a sitcom and they switch the actresses out. Like,
yeah. So, like the new Aunt Viv.
So they're there, and then all of a sudden, today's activity day, I guess. So did I say that right? It's activity day. Mm-hmm. And Blaine wants to go paintballing. So Miley, she's not really interested. She would prefer to stay at that house. And that's how she really didn't want to go. But, they get her to at least go over to the spot. So they get there, and then Miley puts on all the gear, but then, finally chooses to just not participate. And she goes back into the shop, if you will, where you get all of your gear for the paintball activity. And, I can't help but wonder if it's because she just really doesn't want to. She's in her teenage mood, which I think is a very easy, lazy excuse. Or if she just wanted to spend more time with her mom.
With her mom by herself. They haven't had it. It's like, I don't think she wanted to be out with Blaine. I think she wanted to just kind of lay around and talk to her mother.
Yeah.
Which needs to happen anyway, because y'all need to get to the root of what's going on. Like, why is she feeling a way to act out lately? Talk to her. Ask her, hey, what's going on? You've been cutting up with your grandma. What's up?
Right. Between going to pick her up, riding back to the house, and then getting there and turning back around, there were a couple of opportunities that you could have talked to her, and somehow none of that came up. But we also hear from Lindsey when Miley gets into, a mood or gets a toot, she says she typically just leaves her alone and lets her be. And I'm like, okay, so you don't really know how to deal with a child who is acting out.
No. Cause she's still a child, acting like a child that's acting out with these temper tantrums and stuff. So,
Right.
but then it's like this activity that you trying to like, cause Blaine on house arrest, so he's locked up in the house all day. You working overnight, y'all don't see each other. So I mean, she's trying to like still be a good girlfriend too, and be a mother and work, and it's all on her, and it's frustrating. She doesn't know how to handle a lot of things.
And I think it's that much more frustrating because you just said it. Like, there are some things in solitude that she doesn't know how to get after. Like, she doesn't know how to have a heart-to-heart conversation with Miley, particularly if it's off camera. Because I think it's easy to be like, oh, she never talks to Miley. I'm like, well, she told her about the birds and the bees in a shop while the cameras were rolling. But I don't know. Right? Like, she's great with providing footage for this show, but I don't know if she's having sincere conversations with Miley that reassure her, about everything that's going on. Because she's another kid that's dealing with a lot of change. Every time she turn around, her mama changing something. So, and also, it's like she could just be tired of the cameras. Because I can only imagine, right? She's 13. She knows this is TV. They might have even said, okay, well, this is what we're going to do for the script and for filming today. And knowing her goofy ass mama, she didn't want to be out there on the paintball field while Blaine and Lindsey were, grabbing feels on each other and groping each other and humping on each other. Like, maybe she was just like, nah, I'm straight on all of that. So I don't know. There's a few different reasons why she might not want to be involved, but she's definitely bringing the attitude. When they leave the spot, Blaine and Lindsey are still laughing about the experience. And Lindsey's like, oh, I was so out of breath. And Miley's like, well, you should run more. Like,
girl.
And Lindsey's face was just like, what the fuck?
But here's the gag. Whatever's going on, you're not going to be disrespectful. She allowed it. So
right.
This is only going to get worse.
And that's my thing. I'm like, Lindsey, you have to figure out a way to nip that type of shit in the bud. Just simple little stuff like that. You need to be able to be like, hey, girl, I understand that you're not feeling me right now, but, let's keep things
not
cute.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep it neat, little mama.
Right. But you could tell, like, in her face, she just froze up. And it could be, you don't want to say something crazy on camera, but I think more so for Lindsey, again, she just has not spent time figuring out how to talk to Miley, how to discipline her when she needs to, how to call her out on shit like that. She hasn't spent time figuring that out. She just wants her daughter to be around to, quote unquote, do the right thing. But she's not having all of the right conversations and creating boundaries and, making sure that there is a level of respect and there's discipline involved. She hasn't done all of that. So,
no.
But, I think that's where, like you said, okay, now because you don't know how to deal with that, that's an added layer of stress. You've got this job. We, find out Blaine's not working. And then, so when they drop Miley off back to the grandmother's house, she hops out the car, doesn't say much, closing and slamming the door before they can get I love you out.
I would have been on her heels.
Right.
It's like you can't really, I'm not saying beat her or nothing like that. No. Of course not, right? But like you have to, but see, she has to be ready for Miley to say something about her being incarcerated too and not being around. She has to be ready for that because any argument or any type of little slight disagreement, that's always going to be Miley's like rebuttal to everything. Right. So she has to be ready for that.
Yeah. And that's where Lindsey needs to have a hard, real conversation with Miley, not this casual, in the moment, attached to trivial type shit like, oh, let's shop for a purity ring so I can convince her not to become a teen mom. Okay. Well, what are you going to tell her about how she should treat you despite you not being around because you were locked up? There's conversations that need to be had. And they're just not happening. And then, so now you're dropping her off. But even in that instance, you didn't save enough time to walk Miley back into the house to say hello to your grandmother before, you kept moving. All of a sudden you're on the phone with her like, oh yeah, we cut it close on time and we need to get going before Blaine's tether, starts going off. And I don't know what's up with Miley. And you can tell the grandma's on the phone like, child, welcome to my world.
She don't have it for her at all. She has nothing for her. Nothing.
Okay.
Giving her ass. She was giving Lindsey one with her answers, telling her ass, oh well. She was saying stuff like that. Like, and yeah. Because Lindsey, you wanna bug up. Girl, shut the fuck. You're bugging up and having a tantrum because life.
Right.
Bitch.
Right.
Bitch, we do this every day. Welcome to the ball game. We've been doing this shit since our 20s, low key. Sometimes we want to punch walls too, but we don't. So chill.
Right. Like, so you're mad because your grandmother is not giving you the answers that you want to why your child is acting crazy, even though you didn't ask her anything. And so now all of a sudden she hangs up the phone and she's, putting that attitude right back towards Blaine. Like, oh, I need some food and a shower and I need to go to bed. And it's like, okay, so now you're going to carry all of that with you back to the house. And sure enough, they get back there and she's whining and complaining. And Blaine is telling her, well, I'm not the one saying you doing anything wrong. But what I didn't like, when they hop out the truck to go into the house, all of a sudden Lindsey throws this all-out tantrum. It's like, it's not fair. No one's helping me. I have to do everything myself. And I'm like, you are a liar. Like, you literally just dropped your child off for somebody else to watch and take care of. As much as she's saying that Blaine is not working, that may be true, but somehow you're figuring things out for y'all to be in a new house. He's helping to get this trailer up to code. Like, I get that if he's not working and generating income, that's a problem and that's gonna run out. That gets old. But at the same time, he's not completely useless. Like, I don't think that you would have this trailer that you would eventually be able to move into if you weren't with Blaine.
Agreed.
So, and then for it to turn into her, like you said, like punching on a wall or the garage, I'm just like, girl, first of all, it's life. Like, all of these issues that you're having, there are women that literally don't have a live-in boyfriend or a grandmother to take care of their kids while they work an overnight shift. And,
exactly.
And deal with outstanding warrants. So stand up. Get your shit together. Get over yourself.
Stand up.
Okay? Because nobody is handing you anything anymore. Like, welcome to the world. This is the shit that we all have to deal with all the time. And I'm wondering, there's a part of me that wonders if this is just a lazy storyline, because would it really be difficult for them to say, hey, Miley, act like a bratty teenager?
Right. We don't have any of those on the show. Like, what?
Right. Like, that's not difficult. That might be fun to her, So that part, I'm like, is this really a storyline, or is this really happening, I should say, or is this just a storyline? But either way, like, Lindsey, I'm not gonna sympathize with you dealing with your child giving you a taste of your own medicine and for you having to deal with some real world shit. Like, this is what we all have to do. So welcome
to the ball game. That's all I got to say.
Girl.
Oh, did we peep how Blaine randomly yelled "brr" in the car?
No.
You don't recall this? Yeah, he was like "brr." I was immediately pissed off. Like, what? Is it cold outside? Like, why did you just randomly yell that? Are you guys listening to old Gucci Mane down there in Mississippi? Why did you yell that?
Where were they when he yelled that?
Like, in the car.
Like, on the way to the paintball, or?
One of those. They was either on their way there or on their way back. And he was like, "brr." I was like, what?
Well, okay, so I'll say this. It would make sense if it's right after they dropped Miley off, and then that was his way of saying, oh, that was cold, like she gave him a cold shoulder.
Don't matter. Don't like that he yelled it. Pissed me off. Immediately.
I did not even catch that. Okay, let's see. Do you want to do Monique and Derek?
Yes.
Okay.
She another one pissing me off.
Girl. I hate doing them, but then I also love it, especially now that she's in Chicago, because I'm just going to be...
Welcome to my city! Okay?
Right? So, Derek arrives at Midway, and Monique is on her way to pick him up. So, of course, he's
driving slow.
Right? She don't really know how to drive, so he's telling her to hurry up. And Monique lets us know that Derek's love language is money. And I'm like, that's not an option, hun. But that's not
what you mean it's not an option? It is. Gifts, gift giving and stuff.
Gifts aren't always money.
And this is where she got the game fucked up. You know, you don't talk that money talk with me, okay? She got the game fucked up because she said that that's his love language, right?
Mm-hmm.
But him spending money for a flight for himself,
right? No,
that's not it, girl.
Exactly.
That's not how it works at all.
Right. Like it was not a good example, and it's just like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, ma'am. And that's just what I feel. That was like, and girl, you know how I feel about flowers. You know, I love flowers. You don't throw no flowers away. What is wrong with you?
Girl, we'll get there. Because honestly, I don't even know that I noticed that, but...
Oh, you know I did. You don't throw no flowers away, girl. You keep those.
So, my take was, Derek's love language is words of affirmation from these hoes. So, as long as you're telling him what he wants to hear, then he's good with you. And so, I think that's what... initially, how things started off for this little trip that they had going on. But Monique pulls up and Derek gets in the car. It's super casual, like wasn't no hugs, wasn't no kisses. I'm like,
she was like, hey baby.
Right.
And then that was it.
Right. I was just like, okay. But then he does hand her the flowers that he got, which was really nice. And she was happy for a split second.
Let's go here. He didn't get those.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like,
he got them. Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's be 100% clear. Like, they were gifted to him to give to her.
That was a real grown man. Because I don't feel like Derek would have, And I don't get me wrong. I'm all about a little $6 Trader Joe, okay? A little bundle, honey. Yeah. But I just feel like Derek wouldn't know to get flowers of that caliber. Somebody like a real grown man kind of had to give him an alley-oop.
Yes, 100%. But I think overall it was thoughtful because Monique doesn't have to know the ins and outs. But yeah, it's just interesting how stuff like that, whether it's flowers or the candles in the past, it doesn't ever really last with them because within moments, she's already in her confessional talking about being doubtful of how their relationship will progress because of everything that's happened. They're in the car and, he's getting text messages and she's immediately like, who's that? And who are you texting? And this fool gonna say it's an email. It's like, that really doesn't negate the question she has for you, but...
At all. He would have been better off saying, it's my PO. I'm letting her know I made it.
Yes.
I'm not going to help you lie, Derek, but I'm just saying, if we, stop. Cut the crap.
Right? Like, I wouldn't want to go back and forth in that moment either. So I would have something ready to go. Like, you already know how she is. But Monique tells him, or us, that she got a new place with cheaper rent because she's been blowing money on Derek and these trips and being in Ohio. So we see them going what I believe is deep out into the suburbs to go to wherever she's living now. I don't know about you, but it was definitely like, oh, okay, y'all look like y'all in Oak Forest or...
Yeah, I can see that.
Henley, like y'all are not in the city anymore.
Henley not having them cameras out there. That's Will County, my county. We're not going for it.
What cameras?
I'm just playing. I was just playing. Like don't act like it didn't happen with Ashley and Travis. All that those cameras and that extra foot traffic.
Oh yes,
got her ass put out.
That's right.
So,
just moving with a filming crew. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, them white folks in Tinley Park not going for that.
I feel like there's some pockets in Tinley, but
maybe
wherever.
Maybe so. Mm-hmm.
Wherever they were, though, it was definitely giving suburbs. And she claims that this is like this new place with cheaper rent, but it's like, Monique, you went from living out of what seems to be a room to now you're in what is a very classic suburban home in the Chicago area, right? Like it's that split level. You got a living room on one level. You go up a few steps for kitchen and extra rooms. There's a basement. So she's talking about
Airbnb,
right? Because she's like, "Oh, I just moved in." I'm like, "Girl, you didn't have all this furniture wherever you were." And of course, the worst of it all is that we see a couple of workout machines in the basement, and I hate that everybody immediately was like, "Oh, we know it's not her house now."
At all.
Shit. But I'm just like, yeah, even if you were moving there, because Derek is like, I thought the plan was for you to move to Ohio. And she's like, well, I had to, basically get this taken care of right now. I think that, like you said, it's an Airbnb and she's there because wherever she was living, she can't film there, or there's nothing, there's nowhere to be filming. Like,
not enough space.
Thank you.
Yeah, for the camera crew to even come in, just like Justine's bedroom,
right?
Cramming in here trying to have a sex scene. Good night.
Right. So I think this was, or she's living with family or one of them sisters, and they were like, yeah, we're not doing it. So this was a way for her to film the show without really showing us the real home that she lives in. And this was a cheaper option to do that. But that's just us knowing the ins and outs of Chicago. But he puts his stuff down in the bedroom as, she's giving him a tour, like she's actually been there. And he goes to pour some wine and hide the engagement ring that he bought her. And then
climbing on countertops with his shoes on.
Girl, I'm like, sir, you just
go get a step stool, stupid.
Just got there.
Oh,
already showing his ass.
Yeah, so, and I don't like the way he poured that wine.
Girl,
to the top. You come in, no luggage, just a gym bag, nigga shit. Like you, traveling just with a gym bag. I hate it.
Yes, definitely noticed that too. It's like, how long did you plan to stay? Because it didn't look like there was anything in that bag. And we know so because Monique is immediately rummaging through looking for his phone. I'm like, why wouldn't you think his phone would be in his pocket?
She treats him like an inmate. It's like it is shakedown at all times. Like he's still in jail. It's search and seizure at all fucking times. Like what? She's doing everything but strip searching him every day. You want to go through his phone like his parole officer or something. You want to go like, you are not a CO. Like, what are you doing?
I'm gonna have to definitely put that in the caption for the episode. Another shakedown from Monique.
Okay. It's a shakedown every time.
Oh my gosh.
A pat down. It's every time.
That's so true though. But you know what I didn't like in the confessional? Derek is still calling her Big Mama. That is his nickname for her now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
I call myself that. I know. My Alexa said, she'd be like, have a good evening, Big Mama. Period. Big Simone.
Okay. But seeing how you are not a big girl.
True. So it's, don't call me girl. Let me tell you something. It's one of my homeboys. It's cool, but he calls me Slim, and I hate it.
See?
Like, so I get it. I get what you're saying. I be like, I'm medium.
Girl, do you purchase medium clothes? Like,
No, still small.
Okay.
I graduated from extra small to small, but still, girl, I hate what he calls me slim. I'm like, I am medium now.
Right? So it's like, I don't know when she vetted this nickname, but I would not be responding to it. I would be like, give me something else.
Get somebody else to do it.
I'm not answering to that. But yeah, so she's snooping through his stuff. She tells us again she still feels like at times that he's cheating on her. And I'm like, hun, if you haven't figured it out at this point, like, why aren't you accepting the reality of what it is? Of course he was cheating on you. I don't know how much time could have possibly passed. This nigga was recently cheating on you. We found out after, Love After Lockup season, he was cheating on you. He was cheating on her. He admitted in January after the 10 women that he admitted to on the show. It's just like,
there was some more.
Yeah, he said he was cheating in January on Carlos King.
He did. But let me tell you something. I expect that from Derek. I'm not surprised.
No, not at all.
It wasn't like oh my God, how could you do that? No, this nigga is out here throwing that dick a party, period.
Yes.
I could see it. And then, like, honestly, this is why your sisters act like that. Because this is the you that they're used to.
Yeah.
This is you. This is the real you.
Right.
And nigga, you're proving them right. You sitting up here acting like you all about Monique, but as soon as she go back to Chicago, you have sex with 10 women.
Right.
This is what they wanted you to come home and do. Be the real you.
Right. I mean, just get it out the way. Like,
Silly rabbit.
Right. But you could tell he wants to do everything at once. I mean, he came out and life was just like a kid being in a candy store for him. I mean, pretty much came up in prison, spent all of your 20s in there. So yeah, you want to get out. I want a girlfriend. I want a wife. I want 2 extra bitches. Like,
oh yeah. I just want some pussy. Yeah. Really. I don't care where it comes from. What size, shape, CO.
Right.
Big mama, all that. Okay, throw a couple bad bitches in there, quote unquote. Like, bum bitches, ugly bitch. I don't think he cares.
Right. I don't think
ex-fiance. Like, come on. I want some of the women to come forward with some of the 10. Let's see what y'all look like. What's up?
Right. I don't think he has a type, and I don't think that he's ready for marriage, but he just wants to do all of these things that sound good, and that will just keep him around a lot of women. So as they're sipping the wine, immediately they start going back and forth about who he's been talking to. Of course, she's still checking call logs and all that type of shit. And she pretty much tells him, see, you came out here, you're lying. You're sleeping in the basement. You're not sleeping in the room with me. I'm not going to kick you out because I know you're paroled here, but you can go ahead and book a flight back home. And I'm just like, okay, Monique, you came down real hard. I see you wasn't playing with him, but they are on rinse and repeat right now. And this is like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
This was their whole storyline.
Yes. Yes. Like, it's a literal cycle. So they link up. They have a nice moment. It's typically very brief. She confronts him about a call or a text or an email or whatever it is. They argue about it. They separate from each other. She goes back home. He goes back home, whatever that is. He cheats because every time they argue and he leaves, he's like, oh, I don't know what's up with our relationship. Let me go get some pussy real quick, before we work it out. And then he'll call her for forgiveness. And she gives it to him, and then the cycle begins again with another link up.
Girl, who wants to live life like this?
Right.
But whatever. I couldn't do it.
Right. I'm like, Monique, at a certain point, and we continue to see them making their club appearances and doing their interviews and stuff like that. But, I do worry for when it all is over and said and done, when she finally is done with Derek, because that nigga could ride off into the sunset with somebody at any given time. And I don't know, like, as much as she gets on my nerves and with what she contributes to their situation, I feel for her because she is sacrificing so much. Like, I would not be spending up all my money, moving here and there, coming to you all the time. And there's always drama, bullshit, fights, cheating. Like, girl, this is not good. You gonna need some counseling after you get done with this nigga.
Monique kicks a lot of this shit off, though. Let's be clear.
I mean, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So it's like, Derek, you ain't got to deal with that. I mean, I feel, just the same for him. Like, you don't have to deal with that. You can kind of be single, and that'll work out good for you too.
Yeah. I wish that he didn't feel the need, to be doing everything all at once.
Yeah, I agree. But this where they at. So I don't know. And what else? That's just how I feel. And what else?
Right. And it's funny because we all know couples that look like them, like their size dynamic. It's not that new, especially if you from Chicago, especially if you from, the black community, whatever, down south. Like, it's always a big ass chick with some little ass nigga. And, we're just kind of exposed more to the ins and outs of what that relationship looks like. But Monique, girl, invest in yourself. Leave this nigga alone because he is big cheating and he's not going to stop. And Derek, he would make so much more money if he was single. Like,
oh, you think so? I think he could do like his little club appearances and stuff by himself. Yeah, bring out. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think he could make more money by himself. And that's not to say that there's anybody turning them away because of Monique, but it just feels like he probably would have a good time. He wouldn't have to split the money, Like,
I think she could do her own thing too, though. She would just have to find her lane, like whatever that she could sell stuff, promote businesses on Instagram. Like, I think she could be okay as well.
Yes, right. And I think she does have a lane. I think it is hair and beauty and makeup. Like, girl,
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
I think a lot of girls would, because what we said very early on, one thing Monique is always gonna do is come with a melted lace now. I'll always give her that. And she gonna have her lashes on, she gonna have her face beat. So, you might as well.
When you go to Atlanta, just lay that wig, baby, okay?
Oh, right.
You telling me Tay is the best.
Right?
And you will be on from there. Change your life. So she can do it by herself. I know she can.
Yeah.
They'll get tired of each other and eventually they will. I don't see them like staying together long term. But if they do, big ups to them.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody mentioned Thanksgiving this year. My money is on the holidays as well.
Damn. Yikes.
I think they make it through party season and keep making a quick buck, but at a certain point, they're going to get tired of each other and be over the bullshit. So.
Agreed.
All right. Amber and Puppy.
Oh, yes, girl. Jesus help us. Lord, with these two.
Oh, man. All right. So we open up with Amber saying that she's been sober for 9 months or some period of time. I don't know. I think I made up that timeline, but
I think it's longer than that because they've been out of prison for a few years now.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but she's quote unquote sober. And she asks her parents for the money for the bar. She would like to borrow it from them and pay them back and treat this like an investment. And if we recall, her parents were together, then apart for a long time. And then after her and her mom got out, they got remarried. So, they're telling her that, hey, you've had a lot going on over the past few months here. They kind of give her like a, we'll see, but you can tell they're not really sold on this idea. They don't think that's best for her. And so then from there we see Amber and TC. They're running some errands and She tells us that he doesn't want to talk about the abortion or really much of anything. Like, he doesn't share his feelings and his emotions like that, but she is very expressive about her feelings. And she tells him that she hasn't been feeling like herself. And, you could tell he doesn't want to make it a big, huge conversation, but his solution is, go to the gym. That'll allow for anybody to feel better. And I'm like, fair, but
no. I feel sorry for Amber because TC is an asshole. I just don't like it. I don't like the way he treats her. I feel like she's going through a lot right now. Like, over the last couple of episodes, we haven't talked about this on the show because none of our business. But Amber has gained some weight, since she's had to have that procedure done, and so now she's just, trying to, and we see that with not only Amber, but Taylor as well. These are women who were pregnant.
Yeah.
And now they're not feeling two different outcomes of the pregnancy, but both are not feeling comfortable in their bodies.
Right.
And, Amber needs a lot of emotional support that TC cannot provide. And that's a horrible feeling as a woman to not feel comfortable with yourself.
Right.
Her body we've seen Amber's body has been through a lot.
Yeah.
And TC just wants to move past it, but she needs some major support. She can't just move. It's easier said than done, especially for him, because a white man, you wasn't the one that had to go through it. Right. This wasn't your body. So he just wants to move past this, and she needs major support. And in my eyes, Amber, those are red flags.
100%. 100%. Because, okay.
So pay attention. It's not the kind of husband you want. He's showing you who he is, and you need to do what you want to do.
Right. And I think that, the gym is never a bad idea, but if it's packaged up appropriately, like, maybe that wasn't the first and only thing you should have thrown out, TC, because to your point, like, he just wants to brush everything off. He wants to forget about it. He doesn't want to talk about it, but he is not supporting her because clearly she's going through some things. So you could have built up to that, or you even could have been more supportive. Like, well, do you want to carve out some time for us to do something active together? Maybe we can go for a walk. Maybe we can go to the gym. But it's just like, oh, well, this is the fix that pretty much all men always use. And that was that. And yes, you said it. We've seen Amber come out of prison, lose weight, get pregnant, lose the baby, or, go through the termination. She's gained some weight. And so,
titties big as hell. Titties is sitting in these confessionals, baby. Okay. Yes. We ain't never said, and then she even said it like when I first met TC and they went back. Girl, Amber looked like she looks 10 years younger, 20 years younger.
Yeah. Ooh. So, girl. Right. So they have that moment. And then from there, we do see Amber. Apparently she did have a resource, this trainer that she knows. And so she decided to finally go over to the gym. Amber, again, what I said last week, Amber always knows somebody. It's like every time you turn
niggas at that, it ain't never no girl.
Ain't never no women. Amber know every man. And then it's always like Georgia. Okay. And I was always like low-key intimate, like, because this is supposed to be your trainer, but he walking away talking about, all right, love you. She's like, I love you too. I'm like, who are these people?
Girl, what was you out here doing?
Right? But so she's at the gym, and then Puppy meets her at the gym, and child, Puppy, girl up. She always show this little delayed side of her that I don't like. Yeah, she walked in looking a little down bad. It was definitely one of those moments where she gives off that lost puppy look. Like, she says she doesn't know where her phone is right now, and she just seems so disheveled. But they are chatting about their wretched relationships, And Amber makes it seem like Puppy has all these worse problems. Like, okay, are you done with Eric? Because you need to be done. And, she makes it seem like her situation is so much more stable and, reputable than Puppy's. And I just don't agree with that, because to your point, like, TC is not supportive. He is not that man. But let Amber tell it, like, her relationship is fine. And she always makes it seem like that. Like, her boyfriends are so much better than Puppy's boyfriends. And don't get me wrong, Eric has been shitty. But weren't you the one arguing with Abraham Lincoln down at the bar? Because you was too friendly?
Yes.
The last time. And then you get with TC and you going back and forth with him, and he's not supporting you through this shit. Like, girl, let's not make it seem like all of your shit is cool, but Puppy shit is always like down bad, even though it is. I get that, but y'all situations.
But Puppy, don't come in here trying to put your shit on Amber either. I didn't like that. Like, are you really happy with TC? Hey, just because you and Eric, you wasn't concerned if I was really happy with TST or not when you was with Eric. So now that you and Eric not together, don't try to come over here and so we could just be out here in these streets. And I feel like they always do this to each other. It's not just Puppy. They do this to each other all the time. This toxic ass friendship that they have. So it's like, Puppy, you need to grow up. Just because you are single doesn't mean Amber is to gallivant in the streets with you.
Right.
She's in a relationship and you need to respect that.
Right. It's like, because it's not an easy going situation right now. She's got a lot of stuff to work through, but she's not just going to drop her boyfriend so that she can be single with you again. Because that was definitely the vibe she was giving off.
Yeah. And you tried to like demand it. No, girl, not happening.
And she gives Amber grief. Now, I can't say that Puppy was wrong in this case, because she gives Amber some grief about the fact that, like, when she gave up her parole for Amber, and, she's upset or feels a way that when things did go south with Eric, that she couldn't depend on Amber to help her out. Like, she was like, I'm not even welcome in your home. I wouldn't have been able to sleep on your couch. And she tells her that, I gave up my parole address for you. And I think that in some ways Amber has gotten ahead a little bit at Puppy's expense. But it does feel like, hey, Puppy, like, you still came out of prison looking for someone to depend on. Okay, I get it. You knew you couldn't go to your mom's house if Amber was there, but you immediately then turned to, okay, well, who else can I stay with who can take care of me? Puppy, we see it every week. Like, she don't know how to take care of herself. She does not. Right? She always like, can you help me? Are you going to help me?
But you know what? Some people are just like that. Sure. Like, I know somebody like that. Like, I feel like she needs a good man. She needs somebody to take. I know more than one person like that, and they need a good man to take care of them in life. I feel like they need that. They definitely need that. Some people just aren't built. Yeah, it has to happen.
I don't know. It's like,
I know.
You know me. Like,
I know.
INDEP over here, but
I know. But guess what? I'm tired of doing that too. So I want somebody to take care of me too.
Right? Like, would I be mad?
I'm tired of being a strong, independent Black woman. I said that at work one day. This white man was parked. He was like a little uncomfortable. Like, am I to laugh? Yes, I just need you to do it.
Tired of being one of God's strongest soldiers. But
okay.
They argue back and forth, and Amber kind of storms out. They're both in tears. And what we learn in this moment, plot twist, despite the sobriety claims that Amber has made from narcotics, she has remained a heavy drinker. Now, I have to assume that they're referencing how the drinking has picked up since the abortion. Like, that's where my mind went. But Puppy was like, she's drunk all the time, but I'm the one that has a problem. And I was just like, whoa, okay. Wasn't expecting her to say that.
Exactly. But they do that to each other. Off like when they're not good friends to each other. They tell each other business and all of that stuff. But yeah, and guess what? Yeah, she's gonna drink more. She has no support. She has no outlet. So maybe hopefully this gym will be a good outlet for her. But she doesn't even have anybody she can talk to about how she's feeling, what her body is going through. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what do we expect her to do?
Well, I think it was also interesting that when Amber got outside, coincidentally, her parents call her back and say that they won't help with the loan. And they also say she has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that Amber has been trying to downplay. And she doesn't want us to know anything about it. And she even was like, oh, my liver problems come from heavy drugs. It's not an alcohol thing. I'm like, this still doesn't sound good. So, highlighting her sobriety, I totally get that if you're not on that narcotic. But I think, again, going back to Amber trying to make it seem like her boyfriend situation is better than Puppy's, and everything that she's been able to do has been like on track and nobody's helping her. But it sounds like you could use some help with the alcohol use. And she's always trying to make it seem like she's making great decisions and she's always right. But you got to nip that shit in the bud. And you know what? It's like looking at her, I'm like, hell, maybe that's a part of the weight gain. Because that alcohol, under terrible circumstances, it'll blimp your ass right up. Speaking from experience, so I don't know. I think she needs some help, and TC is not going to be the one to help her, because if he doesn't think that she's drinking too much or she's doing a lot of the drinking with him, he's not going to, is he going to go cold turkey with her and stop drinking?
I don't know, but whatever he does, he's going to do what's best for him, and he's not going to be supportive of Amber. So
right.
That's why I suggest Amber needs to do what needs to be done for her, because she's helping him with his kids and stuff like that. And guess what, Amber, that's the price that you pay. Like, he doesn't care if you work and stuff like that. If that's what you were looking for, that's what he's looking for. He's looking for some help with those boys.
Right.
Obviously. So it's like, girl, I don't know. I feel bad for her. I just do. I don't know.
Yeah. And so they wrap their scene with Amber saying, okay, Puppy, you can come to the house. Like, I want to help work on the relationship between you and TC. And of course, Puppy's like, I just want to feel welcome. And she's like, you're good. And so now Puppy and Amber are on the way to Amber and TC's house.
I don't even know why she keep playing with TC. Like, he didn't want her in the house that night. That's what the whole argument kicked off over.
Right. Oh man. All right. I don't know. Based on the previews, I think it'll work out okay. But yeah, it's just like, oh my gosh. I agree with you. Like, they're just not great friends to each other. And this also feels like a moment where it's like, y'all could both kind of go and do your own thing.
Y'all thinking, yes. Like, I think they kind of like want to keep each other around in case like it doesn't work out with their significant other, that they would still have each other or are tied to each other.
Yeah. And they want to keep getting these checks because they pretty much can't come on this show alone with one of their partners. At least they haven't done that yet.
That's true.
So it's like, especially when you see somebody like Amber, like I could hear Amber telling Puppy now, like, bitch, this is our money. Like, this is consistent. We can't stop doing this.
Crazy. Insane.
Well, good luck to both of them. So,
ooh, girl, where is the lighter?
Last and least, Taylor and Chance. My.
He been showing his ass, baby.
Oh my gosh.
But he's showing exactly who I perceived him to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel
and
like
she's another one. Y'all could go y'all separate ways.
Yes.
Go get your sister back.
Girl, do whatever you got to do. You got all them kids. You can get on Section 8. Like, you got to figure something out.
In Ellsbury, Missouri, right. You always ain't gonna know. Don't be shamed.
You always coming for Ellsbury.
Girl, where is it? Let me look.
I think
Let
it's
me go Google
outside
it.
of St. Louis.
St. Louis. I think so too.
But I mean, maybe far out. I don't know. It's not giving like suburb around the corner. But I don't know. St. Louis, I only been there a time or two.
Wow.
But they're living in chaos and filth.
Oh, girl, shit everywhere.
Oh my gosh. And I feel bad because I do understand there's a newborn, but man, oh man, like it's so annoying because I'm sure we'll say it 10 more times, but it's like, Chance, you're not working. You could be helping to tidy up around the home.
And you're still lying about
it.
So where do you go all day? Like what?
Girl, he is down to that bar. He is gambling. He gonna tell us, oh, I feel like I'm turning into a liar. Like, oh, okay, well, you're finally
turning into. No, you were born that way, I feel like.
Right? Coming to terms with who you are. That's what it sounds like. But Taylor goes through his phone. So she's another one that's hell-bent on going through this phone, but not doing nothing when she finds shit she don't like, except for being like, what's this? So she sees that he was down to Daryl's bar. It's been confirmed. Daryl, I guess, owns the bar. And, you know, he's like, I was just down there, you know, having a drink or taking a shot or whatever. And of course, she's like, I was up all night with the baby and he's out here having a good time. Again, not working. So don't get me wrong. If it's Daryl's bar, maybe he's pouring you all the drinks that you can handle, but doesn't sound like something that you need to be doing if you're unemployed.
Agreed.
So she also finds that he is talking to another woman named Tanya. So she's like, who's Tanya? Like, why are you talking to her? What's this about? And Chance, being the asshole that he is, tells her,
baby,
don't ask stupid questions. And I'm like, you're a stupid person, motherfucker. Like,
boy, who the fuck are you? Oh, you what?
He says he doesn't need permission to talk to his friends.
That's what he said.
The whole scene, I just wanted to strangle him. He and Taylor going back and forth. She's upset about it. She's telling him that he's lying about who he's talking to. He's deleting messages. And because he's like, well, what's the difference between you talking to your friends and me talking to mine? And she's like, you lie about it. You delete messages. You don't want to tell me what's going on. You're not honest about it. You know, if it's your homegirl, that's always been your homegirl, you should be able to be like, yeah, I talked to homegirl the other day.
Yeah, that's it. And like, once again, she even stated this. She's not comfortable in her body, and this is not making her feel any better about herself.
Right. So, you know, now he's like, well, he says he doesn't need permission to talk to his friends. I think I already said that. But he gaslights her and storms out and tells her, figure out how to pay the bills.
Girl.
And I'm like, again, someone who's not even working.
First of all, this baby is crying because of the vibe. Like, y'all pissing this baby off, okay?
Girl, and you know that's really what happened. He came in demanding the baby. So once she handed him the baby, she starts looking through his phone. Because he has the baby, he doesn't react too much. But then as soon as he was truly riled up, then he gives her the baby back, and now he's on to the next, you know, part of the house where he can choose not to be bothered because he wasn't in there doing nothing. He looks gross. You know, he looks
disgusting.
Walking around with a bowl of cereal with no shirt on, and oh gosh.
Yeah, hated it.
So we learn he gets outside and smoking a cigarette. And we learn that Tanya apparently is someone he's known for 25 years. And she, quote unquote, gave him $275 for a lawyer in the past.
Oh, in the past. Because I was like, what the fuck do you, girl? You know, I was waiting because I'm like, what does he need?
Girl.
First of all, let's go here. Chance, you know what I would have said to him? Lower your fucking voice in my house.
Okay.
And these bills not paid.
Okay.
Lower your voice talking to me in my house.
Who are you talking
to? Who you talking to with these bills not paid? Okay. And my thingy, girl, he wanted to fight. I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight for Taylor. Like, I don't know.
I wanted to go upside his head.
He gaslit the fuck out of her, and she's tired of it. Then when he called her jaded and tainted, baby, I was like, line him up. Come on, Taylor, tag me in so I can get him. Like, what?
Oh my gosh.
You're arrogant as fuck, even when you're broke.
Right.
That's broke nigga audacity.
Yes. Yes.
And she just had your son, and you sitting here threatening to leave?
Child. Like, she's
Taylor,
literally...
you better off without him.
You got...
Because
like,
what the fuck?
You got to get rid of him.
He gotta go. Off GP, just on principle. Like, you will be doing yourself a disservice as a woman by sitting here even, doing that.
Carrying this dead weight. Because he literally has you feeling insecure. You're not feeling great. And then his response to that is to say that your suspicions are the problem. And then, like you said, like, for you to be like, I understand, like, that, you've been done dirty in the past. Like, sir, you are actively doing her dirty right now. We don't even need to talk about the past.
Jaded and tainted. Baby. No. I want to fight. Like, I want to fight him now. Right now. And I saw it days ago.
Like, it was just so disrespectful and inconsiderate. Like, all the words that you can think of. And then all the while he's smoking these cigarettes, like, and now they're in the garage. So you are within the dwellings of the home. We know that garage is unfinished. So.
And there's a newborn in here.
Right. So you're doing all of this and there's a literal baby plus all these other kids on the premises. Mm-hmm. Like, I was thoroughly disgusted. I'm like, Taylor. And so when he's threatened to leave, now all of a sudden she's saying, like, when someone says they're going to leave, that means, or threatens to leave, that typically means they're going to do it. And she's just in tears and
found and jaded and tainted.
Right. And it's just so sad because there's like a sliver, out there where I get her sorrow, and the fact that all of this is kind of falling apart. But the other 99% of that pie says, girl, this is a blessing. Lock the doors when he leaves.
Lock the doors. Let him get the fuck on. You go ahead with you got your boy. He's not going to be around anyway. He wasn't even around for his other son. You think your son going to be different? No.
Right.
He is ready for the opportunity to get his Derek on with his fresh out glow. Okay. Right. But he broke. I don't know. Your focus is on the wrong place, sir.
Right. And every chance he gets to project back onto her, because he's even outside, like, what is going through her mind? And it's just like, sir, what's going through yours? Like, it's just insane.
I don't even think therapy is the correct, like, thing. Like, I don't even think therapy will work. Like, just take him out back. Okay. And do what you will.
Okay. Because he's just gonna lie his way through it. He doesn't have an honest bone, and that is a part of the problem. That's why I feel like she needs to leave him right where he is and move along with her life, because he's a liar.
Yeah. Excuse me. He wouldn't even be honest with the therapist. He needs a black woman therapist. He wouldn't even go back, baby. She'll read him down first session, and he wouldn't go back.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't want anybody's help.
No, he don't want nobody telling him about himself. He don't want nobody telling him what to do. So here we are.
Right? I would let him figure it out on his own, because that's one thing he has not proven to you, Taylor. So what are we even holding on to? This man has not proven that he'd be able to take care of himself, let alone a whole family. So,
oh no,
at least you've proven that. Like, you kept them kids alive, as long as you have.
Let's be clear. That's what mothers do.
Right. Sure.
Okay. She could have 15 kids if she gonna figure it out. Mothers make a way.
Well, but we see Lindsey.
Well, not Lindsey. Right. But it's like, yeah, if you gonna take care, I think he probably left his other son's mother And went on to live his life. And that's what he's going to do to you because he's itching to like get back out. Ain't going to go make a baby with somebody else and just keep doing this.
Yep.
He's older. You're younger. He manipulated you. All right, let's learn, move on. Get Bobby back and y'all chill.
Right. Lean back into your family. And yeah, unfortunately, you're going to be the next girl that he's lying about saying, oh, she moved away with my son and I couldn't really see him. As if, you were really doing anything to take care of him to begin with. So
and paint this narrative to these women who giving you $275 for a lawyer. Girl, I thought that money was for a lawyer in present time. That's what I was gonna say. Did he catch another case?
Child, I just was thinking like $275 for a lawyer. Like, when was this?
That's just something on it. That's just something. He probably, girl, that's what they do. They get $275 from here, $275 from there, $100 from here.
Yeah.
Until it add up and clear. I think he's going to be back in jail, and I think that's where he needs to be.
Yes. Right. So go ahead and make sure you have your plan together, Taylor, because
if you think about it, he can go do a 10-year bid. He can go, because that's how much he did like this last time, right? He did he did a stretch. So think about it. Taylor can go back in, do another bid like that. By the time he gets out again, his credit will be A1 again, because it goes away after 7 years. He probably been playing this game.
Yeah, this is true. Because I think he did. I think he did 12 years. But even still, he's 42. So yeah, he probably did 7 years or so before that. This is definitely the game he plays. He's probably counting down himself. He knows he cannot make it out here. Like
he can. None of them can. That's the pressure, all of that stuff. Like, and they don't teach them. Hell, they can teach us in high school about credit. I wish the fuck they would be teaching their ass in the prison system about it. But maybe they should. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just a game. He's a con artist. I've always said that from the beginning. He is a con artist.
Yes, he definitely is. Oh, so hopefully we'll be getting rid of him soon.
Please.
That was the episode, and on the preview for next week, sticking with Taylor and Chance. So Bobby comes by while Chance is away or out, and Taylor tells Bobby that Chance is not where he says he is, right? She's tracking him, so she knows where he is. And once he lies about that, Bobby's like, let's pull up. And when they pull up, he is down to the bar with another woman child.
So, question, who's watching 4 kids if y'all pulling up? 4. A newborn.
Right?
You know what though? I don't know. TT over here would have did it. You gotta go do what? Yeah, I'm sick of him. Come on, bring them Karen over here, and y'all be back. Don't go get arrested because I'm not keeping them overnight. Right. So go do what you gotta do, and you got an hour and a half. Yeah, I had a blunt roll when you get back.
Right. I know. Is it their dad and stepmom live there? They got some people.
Oh yeah, they got some help. Okay, so yeah, girl, raise your kids. You don't need him.
Right.
And he's down to the bar with another woman. Girl, good night. You're not going to be gallivanting all over my hometown. Let's be clear. Right. You're not from here, Chance. I am. You're not going to embarrass me in this town of 500 people. Okay.
Right. Ellsbury. Did you find out where it is?
No, I'm even more confused when I was reading it because I goes in a rabbit hole. Okay, I'm looking up the average income of the people that live there. How much does what's the average cost of a home there? So yeah, the average salary is like $54,000. Like that's like on the high.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just says that it's a city in Lincoln County. Yeah, the population is only 1,900.
Oh wow, that's small.
Yeah, girl. It's not.
Let's see. Let me pull up my map and zoom out.
Yeah, because I'm like, I still don't get it.
Oh, child, the house they even have when you Google map it. Okay, it's really close to Illinois, actually.
Okay, that's what I was getting. Okay.
It is west of the Mississippi River, and it's northwest of St. Louis, like a little bitty town.
doesn't help me. Come out north and west. I know
I
left, right.
so go up and go left
Okay.
and stay on that side of the river because the other
Okay.
side is Illinois. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see
So
it on the map.
yeah. So yeah, small town living makes sense,
It's
but
closer to
yeah,
Illinois. Yeah.
right, yeah, super close. But no, you make a very good point. Like you are in the town that she lives in. That's where she's got to be. That's where she's got to stay. Like you're not going to be out here chilling with your homegirls. And I don't know if he has some roots there or what, but yeah, girl, I had to slow that preview down. I'm like, I know that ain't him in there with another bitch. And she had that face. That's what made me say, oh, I need to look at that really closely because she had that face they be making on cheaters. You know, like when you pull up and be like,
Who had the face?
Taylor, like that, wow, like I can't believe you're cheating on me, like that, you know, that scrunch cry, like, oh my gosh, like my life is over or ruined, you know, kind of look. And
Taylor,
she turns
you
away
can do it.
and he's trying to like you know, stop her from leaving. She says this is bullshit. Yeah, girl. Oh, I'm ready for that one. And then also, of course, Monique and Derek, more fussing. She's like, you know, I'm serious. If this happens again, you know, I'm done. And he's like, you know, he's not playing. And I guess this is probably him preparing to propose to her, but it's still some bullshit.
Still some bullshit in the game.
We see Amber and Puppy and TC, and you know, Amber is kind of the one that's riled up, you know, saying that she does feel like she's in this by herself. So like we said, we know what she's going through. And then we see Sean and Sarah and Anthony, and they're doing a meetup. And Anthony says that if he wanted Sarah back, he could have her in a heartbeat. So, and then like we see Sean kind of walking away. So doesn't seem like that conversation went that great. And then we see Blaine leaving the home that he shares with Lindsey. And of course, Lindsey's vindictive ass says, if you leave, I'm going to report that car stolen.
See?
Just terrible.
So
So
he's the one that y'all want to date. So I don't know.
child. So that was that. A mid episode for sure, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
but some of the things that we're learning though, it's like we're learning a lot of things. Like,
A
oh
whole lot. Like y'all are really out here tripping, but okay.
yeah. But I don't think there's any Love After Lockup universe updates this week. Oh, did I talk about Mocha responding to what folks had to say?
Oh yeah, and what was the response, sir? Mocha, what is it?
Yeah, so I don't remember it verbatim. I watched a video, I think it was Tracy Trendy Show on YouTube, pulled up like a clip of a live that he did and a caption. And, you know, Mocha definitely is heavy on the captions. Like, he likes to use a lot of big fancy words. But, you know,
rolling my fucking eyes. Girl. Okay,
but
sorry. Go ahead, proceed.
yeah, so he talked about, you know, one of his plaques is from working with Ruben Studdard, and you know, called out a couple of names because everybody was saying that he was faking the plaques. And he also made
Sutter, somebody who wouldn't get married. Okay, you wasn't tripping on him. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
right. So he tried to justify that point of view as well, and you know, say if you think about all of these different artists, like as they were making their money, they may have been in a relationship or dating, but they were not yet married. I still don't buy into that shit. But he did make a fair point, and I think we talked about it too, like just because people didn't agree with what he said, all of a sudden they wanted to, you know, question his sexuality, and that he didn't feel like that was fair because ultimately he's a businessman, and what he wanted.
But you were Queenie. Go ahead. Sorry, I can't help it. You were Queenie.
But
Queenie. I love it.
But you know, like I said, I agree that he wanted Michael to focus on the work, and he says that he's known Michael, and he told him before he went to jail, like, don't be doing that shit that's gonna get you sent away. And he did it anyway, and he got locked up. So now you get out and you play like you're serious and this is what you want to do, but you do all of these other things in the mix and in the meantime that pretty much hinder you from being able to focus on that. And I was like, I mean, that's fair. And, you know, Mocha said he's not, you know, he's not no young nigga. He said he's like 8 or 9 years older than Michael. So he's, you know, up into his 40s. So I'm like, okay.
Girl, I'm like an old woman. Just tell us how old you are. Why did we have to do the math on our end? Like, why you couldn't say, you know, I'm not young, I'm 44. Like, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? You made us do the math. Like,
right.
A queen. He's just a diva, a little divo, that's all.
Yeah, right. It's just like, you didn't have to deliver any of those messages in that way. In fact, I think it would have been more impactful, and we would have been riding harder with you if you would have explained that in front of Michael and Justine, because I think we all understand that they act childish in the way that they move. Everybody jokes about how they might as well be on an episode of Teen Mom. With the way they be acting. Girl,
and dressing. Like,
yes.
You are absolutely right.
Right.
You are right.
So
that's what the people say. Yes. Y'all going out sad.
Right. So it's like, Mocha, you could have been the one to be like, let me break this down. But instead, you know, that's where, like you said, you were a diva and ignored Justine. You could have been like, both of y'all come in here. Let's sit down and talk about this. Who's on the payroll? Who has the contract? Okay, this is a place of business.
And guess what? And when you don't fulfill that contract, we're going to be in court. Right. Y'all don't have it. Let's stop playing. We got to get focused, double down. And he wants to bring Justine. This ain't gang. Like, you're not an artist. You should not.
Right.
I mean, yeah. And I'm sure Michael seems like the type that expressed that he wants a stay-at-home type of family, woman and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
He asked you to quit your job. What did you think you were going to be doing with all of these fucking kids?
Right.
Now you talk about you feel like a slut. Girl.
She thought she was going to be on the road with him. And that's where they fucking up right now. Michael, you're trying to do too much. Why is your house hunting trip during the same time that you're going to record in the studio?
Focus.
Yes. So
focus, and that's what. Okay, I get it, Mocha. That's what Mocha talking about. Focus,
right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, I got it in that much, but what I will still say is, I think he bought some followers, and I think that there's a level of relevance he may have in certain circles, and I understand, you know, sometimes producers and people that develop artists are not always the well-known folks, but I don't know. It still was just like, okay, we get it, Mocha.
Let me ask you this. Do you watch the show that's out now? They be showing the previews, Growing Up Gospel or something like that? Gospel and the show on WeTV.
Yes, I have been tuning in a little bit because they'll play it after the Love After Lockup episodes.
Okay. Do they go into like gospel music or anything?
I think they mentioned a little bit of gospel on the first episode just to give us a lay of the land and understand who all those folks were. Like, oh, I'm related to this person, or I was a part of this music, but they don't. I mean, at least from everything that I've seen, I haven't seen anybody singing or doing much of gospel anything. It's just, you know, mess.
It's church. It's more church.
Very mess. Church mess. Oh my gosh, which is the worst mess to me. Like,
and that's what I was getting at when I was gonna. That's why I was gonna ask like about producers, because baby, them producers on the gospel side too they be something else. And I'm only going off, you know, what somebody. I have a friend that's like super into church and gospel music.
Okay.
So it's like, I just kind of wanted to know, like, did they have like a lot of producers kind of acting like Mocha in a bit?
Yeah, I don't know what half of them people do. I know some of them sing. I'm not sure if any of them are producers, but yeah, I don't know. It's not capturing my attention enough to watch it any episode from top to bottom.
I would have to watch it. I'm a little familiar with the gospel music, like, scene, just because of my friend and who she is. I call her the gospel trap queen. Okay.
Right. And that's where I would stay. And some of them you can tell are much more traditional gospel folks. And I mean, it's, you know, I feel like there's a look and a vibe to folks that have been in the church since day one of their lives. And
girl, don't get me started. My friend granddaddy passed away. I remember going to church with them at high school. And I was like, oh, this is an apostolic church we going to for the funeral. Like, can I wear pants? You know, like, and I'm glad that I was brought up to know certain churches, because some people, young people, just don't know.
Right.
You know, so I had to like call my grandma, like, really, you know, she like, okay, where's the church? Okay, it's this kind of apostolic. Yeah, you can wear pants, or you could make sure your skirt, your knees covered. Like, it is rules. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's still old school, traditional. It's very traditional. Put it like, which I can appreciate. I'll say that. I appreciate.
You like a tradition.
People. I do. I like it. I do. Because nowadays, like, you know, Easter was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the skirts in the house of the Lord. It's like, woo, where we at, girl? The day party?
Right. Are you headed straight to brunch after this, girl? Like...
Okay. So that's why I can appreciate a tradition. Where's those mothers, the ushers, honey, that stand by that door? You're not getting in here.
Right. Give them a cloth to put on their...
I was going to say, baby, you're going to get that cloth, honey, okay? But anyway, some of these people on Love After Lockup need to go to the altar. How about that?
Right. Follow Blaine down to the altar, get saved, give us a
testimony. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I hope Blaine was leaving to go down to that church, stay with somebody that's affiliated with the word.
Get you a spinoff on the Growing Up Gospel, whatever it's called. So. I can see Blaine. You like a black church, Blaine. So go on ahead.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was it for them. And you know, I mean, you make a good point. Like WeTV, you know, it would be cool if you gave us more than one show that we could really get into.
I know.
I won't put that all on them.
Right, and don't do too much, because then they'll give us Zeus type stuff. We don't need that in our life.
Right. No Zeus Network material over here.
Child.
But that is it for this week. So we will be back with more next week. And until then, you take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another Love After Lockup review. We appreciate y'all. And remember, I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none, not here to be an expert, just here to have fun. Bye, guys.